Oh boy, here it comes. This just goes to show the levels in this game. Kunigami's working his socks off. Hiori's on the next level trance. And even though other players on the pitch are all tapping into their instincts, it looks like BM's true offense is finally about to get going. Yes, I said true offense, because that gimmick Kaiser and his cronies have been running is not it. I've been waiting all game for Isagi to finally get on the ball, and it looks like it might actually be happening. A tri-flow chemical reaction. We're finally getting to see what that might just look like. But I don't think it's time for us to get too excited just yet. Let's see how this plays out.
Before we start, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 400 subs and we're so close right now. So let's lock in and get it done.
BLUELOCK chapter 256. Read between the lines, or the back of the back, or contradict the contrarian. Whichever translation you want. They're all quite hard to follow, but I quite like this one I have here. Contradict the contrarian. I think it makes the most sense. Now, after Kunigami's block in the previous chapter, stopping Shido from receiving Charles' pass, it looks like Karasu gets to the ball first. And one thing I will say about Karasu, his positioning sense is superb. For a guy that seems not to have meta vision, this guy is always in the right place at the right time, always picking up that second ball. And of course, if there's one thing you can rely on Karasu to do, is retain the ball. This guy's ball retention is on the next level. He's for sure the most press resistant player in BLUELOCK. I've only ever seen the ball taken off him once, and that was a sneak attack from Isagi. As he takes the ball down, the first one on the scene to press him is Kiyora Jin. He's gained himself about, but he's not got into the game just yet. I need to see him on the ball, but fat chance of that happening when he's up against Karasu. Karasu holds him back and we see Charles making his run. With a glance back, we see that he has his meta vision activated. He's ready to do something. And so Hiori responds with activating his. This is a time where he needs to outwit Charles. Assessing his movements and the pitch around him, he needs to figure out where Charles will pass the ball next. Since Shido's fully being man-marked by Kunigami, surely there's no way Charles is gonna pass the ball to him. That option is gone from Charles. So who is he gonna pass to next? But that's just it. That's the moment where it clicks. This guy's a contrarian. So Hiori needs to contradict that contrarian thinking, then contradict it again. At this point, rather than thinking logically, you need to think, what would Charles do? What is the opposite of what's right now? And as Karasu holds the ball, being marked by both Kiyora and Grim is no problem for him. 1, 2 markers, mission complete, freeing up space on the pitch for Charles to run into. Karasu sets him loose. As Charles is eyeing the ball up ready to receive it, in steps Michael Kaiser and Alexis Ness. Again, trying to block Charles' passing lane. But in anticipation of all this, Rin makes the perfect run to support Charles, giving him an easy option to pass to. And Charles says, "Oh Rin, right where I wanted you." Psych, just kidding, as he blasts another threaded pass towards Shido. Everyone's hella confused, man. He had no right to attempt this pass. But as Charles says, regardless of whether the passing lane is blocked or not, he's gonna aim for it anyway, cause that's the contrarian way. And fully immersed in flow, in steps in our boy Hiori, clutch again with another block. This time, he gets the better of Charles. Hiori's finally won this round, and he's cracked the contrarian thinking. Normally, no one would try to make that pass. Despite the pass course being so tight, Charles was always going to attempt it, and this was the moment when to strike. Shido's pissed, and everyone else is silenced, having been duped again. The things this Charles kid is doing to Rin, man, if I was him I just wouldn't take it. Rin, you need to go snatch your chain back or something, cause this is wrong. And with his acute senses, Isagi could see it. Hiori's winning, and the flow of the game is about to change. Hiori says, "Let's go Isagi Yoichi," and this time Raichi is the first to react. Trapping the ball whilst holding off Tokimitsu. Yo, Raichi's core strength must be a madness. I love that he's getting involved. Underrated for sure. Taking what Charles called him in the previous chapter. A meat shield only good for duels, Raichi manages to pull off an utter victory sexy pass, which is no small feat, having to keep Tokimitsu off him. Hiori traps it with his back heel, but just as he's about to advance, the crow swoops in. With blacked out eyes, his instincts kicked in. Watch where you're going, mediocre gamer. Now, one thing I've realized about Karasu is, the guy's a liar. What comes out of his mouth isn't necessarily what he actually thinks. He likes to trash talk and play people down when he actually rates them. There's a Karasu video I really want to make. I think he's such an underrated player and super clever. Me personally, if I had to choose a captain for the BLUELOCK 11, it would be him for sure. Halting Hiori for that second, and backed up by Nanase and Zantetsu, Hiori finds himself in a triple press. And one-upping what his senior Karasu managed to do just a moment before, Hiori says, "I can get past you 3 whips without even looking." Chills, man. Hiori's so sick. Tapping into his own instincts and catching Karasu by surprise with a quick twist and a whip of that majestic left foot of his, Hiori sends in a rapid no-look early cross. Not only did he not look at the ball when he kicked it, he didn't even look if anyone was in the area he was kicking it to. He's finally reached the flow, his peak performance. And with another glance once again, Hiori says, "You're there, right? Egoist." And just like before, the egoist responds with the perfect timing. "Yeah." As we see Isagi bearing down on the edge of the box, he's actually quickly pursued by Kaiser and Rin, with 3 defenders right in front of him. Now we all know in this situation, this isn't Isagi's game. Although we don't know how much he's improved since the Ubers match, we've got to bear in mind, BM have been on a break week, and during that break week we didn't even see much talk of training, but we know for sure all the players have been cooking up something new. Just think about it, the rapid improvement Isagi made before the match against Munchen, as well as unlocking his lefty shot before playing Ubers. Isagi shows improvement every single time he steps on the pitch, and I'm sure this time is no different. One thing I think that's gone massively under the radar is his dribbling. Isagi's dribbling has improved massively, playing to his strengths rather than the things that he can't do. He uses the information around him and his meta vision to stay one step ahead of his markers and evade them before they come into contact with him. Think about the way he duppied Chigiri and Nagi in the Munchen game, as well as the numerous times he flicked the ball over the head of IQ and Don Lorenzo in the Ubers match. He's adding to his arsenal, and though I don't think this ball is going to be in a position for him to shoot, I reckon he might use Kunigami in some type of way. I'm not sure quite how, because I don't think Kunigami would want to pass the ball back to Isagi, so it might actually be Kunigami that takes the shot, or maybe Kunigami that scores the goal. Although, you guys know my theory, I think Isagi's scoring this one, and it needs to happen because it needs to awaken Rin. He's been sleeping the whole match, man, being made to look like a fool by that young boy on his team. Isagi scoring a goal here would surely add to that and maybe wake him up. Of course, Kaiser's gonna try and do something here. He's gonna try and get in the way, but we've seen that Isagi's already activated his meta vision, so I'm pretty sure he's taking all that into account. I'm curious to see what all you guys think. Please comment down below what you think's gonna happen next. Do you think Kunigami's gonna score? Or is Isagi gonna be the one to take it? Or maybe one of Rin or Kaiser stops him? Or if what we've been hearing around is true, maybe Chopper finally steps up and shows that he's the new Gen 11 player. I don't know, but as much as this match has been sort of predictable, I really can't predict this one here. So I can't wait to see what happens next. This chapter was a 9 out of 10 for me, man. Whenever I see Hiori pop off, man, I love it. He's actually my favorite character. I love midfielders, and he's an out and out. Not only does he have great passing skill, he's also one of the best dribblers shown in the series. We saw what he did to that Ubers team. Hiori's always played a level above most of the others in the facility. It was just his lack of motivation and love for the game that stopped others from being able to see it. And so when he does things like this, it's only ratings from me. Anyways, that's chapter 256. And chapter 257 should be coming out soon. So I look forward to reading it with you guys and sharing my thoughts. But until that time, please make sure to take care and God bless.